corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corporal.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into...
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy...
Unfortunately, no. They are better than nothing. Tell you what, I perform the anatomical side of things while you will take notes. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant, yeah, we got this. We're smart. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings.
KK57.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals that's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
HDB 41 0803 1111. It's 1015. It's understated.
Good. Let's go with that.
The lieutenant is quite surprised you managed to come up with an adequate case number.
NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Muindi. This is as vague. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly.
We're still going with March 4th. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the corpse.
HDB 41 0803.10.
None. At least not after.
A strange word. Treatment.
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the Stations of the Breath. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, and so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the...
See?
Babroudin, yes. Unexpected.
the disappointment is palpable.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of...
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is... The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread of...
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and...
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can...
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters. The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble.
Always good to think ahead. Now... We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Care...
See? My pig is gonna...
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast.
You are? This pig is...
Being Kuno's pig has a steadying effect on your hand. Go with the flow, man. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well... Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia...
No! Let's get up and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Ah yes, your hunch before. We can have a semen analysis requested from processing, if that's what you meant. Just write down that we...
The corpse with his pants down does not have an opinion on the subject. All he has is genitals and a deathly. The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
His flesh is cold.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name? I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il... I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small... We should do this more often.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping...
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury-related. Eyes and tongue protuberant.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently.
Yeah, Jack, that fuck!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is in respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Inside, you see darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, NA. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Neither am I. Same for toxicology and serology, and unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there. We already have one test as per regulation, and we already requested semen.
Pigs requested semen like it's no big deal.
I'm not even interested in these boring mulkus anymore. I haven't sucked him off or anything.
At a request, then, we'll know if drugs or poisons remain in his blood. At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with it. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by bird. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? Oh, so we inflicted them? Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990. I don't think we should mention that. Better not to muddy the waters.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him?
Now, injuries. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene
At maximum velocity.
has confessed to causing it at maximum.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuno. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man, beneath the description of injury.
Right. Next. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that we requested a test to be run on the genitals. That was de règle. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field. I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Okay, I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business.
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks, and even the main case. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails, the leather upholstery is worn and rough against you. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. You try to be as silent as you can. Finally, the door unlocks. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. There might be important information. This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big... It's an optical atmospheric anomaly. It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs? The flag accepts your honorable salute. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst a little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the body. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely... The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. This person is unhappy. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The owner of this collection could be dumping his trash in the Whirling's container. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in a trash lead doesn't really... You could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here.